6 teams are still winless heading into week 4 in the NFL. And while some might bounce back, others are looking like it's getting pretty late early. Thanks for joining us today. Katie Caldwell, Jeff Lloyd back with you. Jeff, these are the 0-3 teams: the Texans, the Titans, the Jets, the Giants, the Dolphins, and the Saints. Which of these teams are you most shocked to see here at this point in the season? Because to me, man, it's got to be the Houston Texans.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, we're talking about a team now. DeMeco Ryans, head coach of this team, quarterback CJ Stroud, year 3.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe part of this is Houston got here too early. Year 1, won the division, won a playoff game. Year 2, won the division, won a playoff game. Now, the issues that I think Houston is probably having honestly have nothing to do with DeMeco Ryans. It really, they haven't done much from the front office standpoint.
Mm.
I mean, the returns from the Deshaun Watson trade have not really done much for them, to be completely honest. Some of the moves they've made this offseason, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, one of them, well, he was just released.
Yeah.
Some of the moves, some of the guys have already been benched. There have been some free agent signings who have been scratches on game day, healthy inactives. So the problem, I think, for Houston is not necessarily the coach or the roster. It's more who put the roster in place. And I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for Houston for maybe a step back to fully build yourself up, because we know the benchmark, the benchmark of the AAC is the Buffaloes, the Baltimores, the Kansas
Mm-hmm.
Cities, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're not there completely, and yes, it's nice to win your division, it's nice to win that first playoff game, but then we go play the big boys and we get reminded that we are the little guy.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst thing in the world for Houston, but the fact that they are 0-3, CJ Stroud is turning the ball over a lot more than we ever saw in either one of his
Mm-hmm.
first 2 years in the league. There's certainly some, signs for Houston that aren't great right now. But again, I think a lot of it had to do with roster construction as opposed to the game day on field X's and O's.
They're so interesting to me because I love their defense. And my read on them heading into the season was their offense just had to do enough because their defense was so good. Like their offense didn't need to be the star of the show, but man, oh man, I just didn't expect them to look this bad. Of all these 6 winless teams, which do you think is better than their record suggests so far? Or at least more
I
watchable?
think Yeah, well, I think it's kinda how you look at it. I mean, because you look at some of these teams and right away, look, you look at the Jets and the Saints, what's the issue? The issue is we got a brand new head coach, and we got no stinking answer at the quarterback.
Yeah,
And if you're the Jets and the Saints, I'm in no hurry to get off this list, to be completely honest with you. I am in no hurry to get off this list, because if I don't have the quarterback, what am I trying to, go out and put together a 3-game winning streak for?
exactly.
Because nothing's changed. I still don't have the quarterback answer. Giants, and we said this for the summer, if you were Dable and you were in this situation, okay, I'm going to start Russell Wilson. But if we don't win, now I'm going to throw the kid in to save my
Mhm.
job. And you're throwing him into a situation where your team is already 0-3. So even if Dart looks great, the Giants front office and ownership is going to have a question of, well, I don't know if I want you to screw the kid up. So I
Yeah,
don't know if I'm ready to commit to you again for another 3, 4 years, to this kid. Tennessee, they like Cam Ward. Tennessee was very close to not bringing Brian Callahan back for this year. Tennessee was not sure if they could put the faith in Brian Callahan with Cam Ward.
mm.
Brian Callahan has just handed over play calling duties to his quarterback coach, which for me is about as soft as a thing as you can possibly do. My butt may be on the line. So here, you bail me out. Like, how does that work? Even if it goes good, how does Tennessee keep Brian Callahan? Because you know what? We win a game or two. Okay, so we won a game or two with Cam Ward, and you gave up play calling duties. So why are you here, kid? Why exactly would you be here at this point? You know, Miami, you just
That's how I feel too. Just
for we talked about this 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
we were cooking. There were times we were hanging 60 on people. But the problem is there was never a lick of defense. Tua took a bunch of hits. Now all of a sudden Tyreek is at that age where he's just not the dominating, just the most scared
Yeah.
of guy on the field anymore. He is just not that guy. The play calling has gotten soft, similar to Kansas City. There's not a lot of excitement to it. There's not a lot of imaginary and just, Mike McDaniel was doing this crazy ass stuff as well. And it's
Yeah.
here's the play, and it's another swing pass to Devin Ashane. That's great for fantasy owners, but you guys are not winning any ball games.
No.
So it's just it's so many factors to this. But as far as, like, the surprises, I mean, I thought the Jets under Aaron Glenn would play a little better, and even
Mhm.
after week 1, because it was like, "Wow, all right, we went toe to toe, but you lost to the Steelers, but you put up 30."
Yeah.
And, for a guy that's always tried to defend Justin Fields, I think I'm at the point where, hey, maybe it is Justin Fields, because now it's 3 teams and the play's not getting much better. And even when they blocked that field goal and took it to the house on Sunday, my first reaction was, "Oh, look how much time is left." And, knew pretty much well that Baker was gonna get that ball. I need 3 points? Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if he needed a touchdown, I'd say, "All right, at least the Jets got a fighter's chance here." Oh, he's gotta get the ball to the 35-yard line? This is over, and that's essentially what happened.
Quick pause. If you haven't subscribed to the BetCanada YouTube channel, you can do so below. It's free and it helps support our channel so we can keep bringing you NFL and NHL content. Now, back to the show. Who's been the biggest letdown to you of these teams in terms of either a player or maybe even an offensive or defensive unit between these teams?
I'm gonna say the Giants defense.
Giants
I mean, I
defense?
think the
Yeah, I was thinking that
Giants
too.
defense.
That
I mean, you
Cowboys game
think
is going to
Kayvon.
haunt them.
Yeah, Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, they spent the
Mhm.
selection on Abdul Carter, so they had all the pass rush they needed, spent money on the secondary in the offseason, still have big, Dexter Lawrence in the middle. You're not supposed to be giving up 40 points,
Yeah.
and that's, and that was even the thing, like Russell Wilson after that game, "Oh, I feel more like myself." You lost, dude. Like, what made you feel more like yourself? You won
Yeah.
Super Bowls. And now, like, you're deeming yourself back after you lost to a bad Cowboys team. And, I just you just these teams, and you get into this, and I hate it for every one of these fan bases, because everybody waits 6 months for this to come back. I
Yeah.
mean, and all the leaves aren't even off the trees yet, Katie, and these teams are already fed up, aggravated, watching somebody else. They're Googling mock drafts, and it all
Yeah.
falls apart so quickly, and it feels like you never even got the chance to enjoy it all. And, Miami, the rumblings are pretty legit that, Mike McDaniel's a guy you tolerate when you're winning, but he's like the weird, annoying guy when you're not. Houston, look, you need to do a little more work on the roster, and it's okay to take a step back and take a step forward. The Giants, you certainly have to question whether or not, Dabo is going to be the guy for Dart, because you're talking about now giving Dabo another guaranteed 2 to 3 years,
Yeah.
because that's where he's at with his contract. The Jets, we got to find the quarterback. In Tennessee, it's, unfortunately for Brian Callahan, hey, Dad, I think our time here in Nashville is done.
I would totally agree with you about the Giants defense. Their offense, man, I almost felt a bit sad watching Russell Wilson the other night. Like coming off that game from the Cowboys, him in the end zone, I've never seen him look so lost. And like I think he got more than one intentional grounding flag and it just felt like you almost knew that this was his last start with the Giants when you were watching it. Does Jackson Dart move the needle at all to them being a bit more watchable on offense, even though we still have concerns with their
100%.
defense? Yeah.
Yes, just because that's how bad Russell Wilson was. And
It
even
was painful.
the 2 interceptions he threw on Sunday night, I mean, they felt like, somebody called for a fair catch.
Yeah.
And, like, the ball was just in the air forever. And this is what really kinda aggravated me with Russell Wilson was that, like, feeling his oats, and even they said during the game, "Well, I kinda reminded everybody just who I am in this game." Really? Because Caleb Williams, who's had very limited success, just torched the same Cowboys defense on Sunday. So it
Sure
was like,
did.
It's like, "Hey, they sent me back to double A for a couple of days, and I went 6
Yeah.
for 8, and I mashed." Yeah, but now I'm back in the big leagues, and, oh, I and look, and for us, it's not a talent thing. Your time's up. You know what I'm saying? It's an
Mhm.
age thing. Your time's up, and, nobody wants to hear it, and nobody wants to hear that the bloom is off their rose, and, for Russell Wilson, a guy who was, obviously, definitely a potential Hall of Famer, there's no question about it,
Mhm.
but, like, part of it is we all know why you and Jameis Winston went to New York. We knew what the appeal was, is
Yeah.
you guys yourselves were already looking in the, "What is the next phase of my life?" So let's not be so stunned and or surprised that we're here. Because look, Katie, I know I'm older than you, but once the first part of age shows, the rest of it just kinda really accelerates. So,
Oh, brother, I'm aware of this.
there should be no surprise to this, and if Russ Wilson, a million teams would open the checkbooks. Colts would have paid him 25,000,000.
Mhm.
Cleveland Browns would have paid him 25,000,000. Pittsburgh Steelers would have brought him back for 25,000,000 if they thought he was still Russ Wilson. Unfortunately, it's the time where it's kinda over, and it was a great run, no
Mhm.
question about it, and everything he did in Seattle was fantastic, and, it's the worst thing in the world to have to, and that's why I'll never say the Andrew Luck thing was a great thing, but there's sometimes and something to be said for talent in any aspect, sports, life, acting, modeling, whatever, where you just call your own shot and you walk away
Yeah.
on your term, as opposed to thinking, 'cause you almost feel bad because it's like, I think he thinks he still has it.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Oh,
sad. You
buddy.
think yeah. What's the meme where they put the hand on the shoulder?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, pal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kinda what it is. And I'll be honest, if I were the Giants, I still would have started Jackson's Dart from week 1. I would have from week 1.
Mhm.
And if I'm Dabo, yeah, I'm putting my ass on the line, and if the kid looked bad, look, I might be getting fired either way. But either way, if he was the best guy in that room, he was the guy that should have been playing from day 1. Then why then you shouldn't have drafted him round 1.